Overall settings, the podcast that differs.
So improve. So you got to prove yourself to yourself and nobody else. Make a move in the place.
Overall settings, the podcast that differs.
You don't know, so a poor people time I don't know. Poor people revolution. Sing. What? Far too long now we are suffering. I say we can't take it no more. So give our helping and misery strength, and give our helping hand to the poor. I know you hear the people them crying. They ain't got no food to eat. I know you see the children them dying. They are dying from.
A very pleasant good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to the People's Forum of In the Streets with Big Stone. Today I'm coming to you again, asking you for your assistance. Our nation children need our assistance.
Hi, my name is Vanessa Williams Morgan. This is my son, Rajay Josephs, affectionately called Ajani. We call him Ajani, that's his pet name. Last week, our story was highlighted in the Jamaica Gleaner, and a lot of persons, reach out to us and ask us to contact Big Stone of the Rudolph Prendergast Foundation. They have been doing a lot of wonderful work in Jamaica and they have helped a lot of people. We're reaching out to you, Mr. Claude Sinclair, and we're asking you to help us to reach out to a wider audience as we plead for help for Rajay. Rajay is 9 years old. He was diagnosed 18 months ago. He started his journey of chemotherapy. He actually got his first chemotherapy on my birthday. Rajay has completed 9 cycles of chemotherapy, 26 cycles of radiation, and he's doing really good. As you can see, he looks really good. He's doing really good, but he needs a bone marrow transplant. This will help to save Rajay's life. So I am asking you, I am pleading with you, please, if you can assist us, please do so. Please tag anybody that is out there that can help us. This procedure is very expensive. It will cost, we have secured a spot in Cuba, and it will cost us $7,000 to $60,000, and this is dependent on the duration of the treatment, how long it's gonna last, and we don't know how long it's gonna last, but we have been advised that it can be up to 6 months, and for 6 months of treatment that is $60,000. So we're pleading to the public and we're asking, please help me save my son's life. I am a parent, as many of you are parent, and as a mother, as a parent, you will do everything in your power to save your child. And I have done all that I can do, but I am at a point where I cannot go any further and I cannot go by myself. I have taken out loans, I've begged on the streets, I have reached out to family and friends, I borrow, I'm in so much debt. Right? I have done everything that I can do, but I cannot go any further on my own. I need help, and I am begging, I am beseeching, I am pleading. If you can help us, if it's even $1, you might think that it is too small, but you don't understand how God works and how that dollar can be multiplied. Rajay is 9 years old. He's 9. He's a baby. He hasn't lived any life yet. I can still remember when I could hold him in my hand because he was so tiny. I can still remember that. As a parent, I am reaching out I am reaching out and I am begging the public. I am begging the public. We are pleading. Please help me. Help me to go the little distance that I have left to go. Help me, please. If you would like to assist, if you are able to assist, you can do so by donating to my bank account. It's Vanessa Williams, Old Harbour Branch, Scotia account. It is 420-582. You can also donate directly to his GoFundMe account. It is Help Save Ajani. As I said, his pet name is Ajani. Help Save Ajani. You can also send whatever contribution you have through MoneyGram or Western Union directly to me. You can contact me at 876-279-3742. I will provide medical records if that's what you need, because a lot of persons, we have to be real, a lot of things is happening in the world right now, and if you need proof, I can send medical record. I can show you everything to give you comfort. But my family and I are asking you, we are pleading with you, we are begging you to please help us. Please share it. Mr. Sinclair, please, I am asking you. Mr. Sean Prendergast, I'm asking you. Please help us. We need your help. And I don't have the words to say. Some of the things that I would want. I don't even know what to say. Honestly, I don't know what to say. But I'm just begging you. I am just begging you, and I am a mother. I am a parent, and I'm calling out to the public for help.
It's the Scotia.
Don't give up, yeah. Just ride out your storm. Hey, you've been in the storm, and it seems like forever. And your nights of confusion has been so long. Your ship has lost anchor, and the storm got you drifting. Just hold on to Jesus and ride out your storm. Ride out your storm. God is still with you. You may not feel it, but you're not alone. You're hurting now, but your morning is coming. Lord of mercy, just hold on to Jesus and ride out your storm.
Right, sir, credit to the one, Mr. George Nooks. You are here for another episode of Overall Settings, the podcast that differs. And this is a segment of the show that we call the Must,
To adjust. To
where,
adjust.
where excuses are not allowed.
No time at all.
We don't necessarily highlight the people and their misfortune. We highlight their strength
Yes.
because they exemplify strength.
Yes.
And while we're helping them, we can also learn something from watching them.
Yep.
Today's special guest in the studio is a humanitarian of sorts, a
Yes.
public speaker,
Yes.
an educator,
Yes.
an author,
Yes.
a president, a man who wears many hats.
Our colors.
A man who wears many hats. You know, man, I say Mr. Cleous young. And you already know when we welcome somebody to the platform. It's always,
have to
it's always with a warm way.
Welcome him with gratitude.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Gratitude. It's a big word, eh?
We appreciate it.
Mr. President say implasticated.
No, because he's gonna Google it and he won't find it. But it's a very implasticated move. Yes, sir.
One of our very few in-house guests. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you know what I mean?
Second author.
Yeah.
A second author.
Yeah.
Good.
He's in very good company. Laura Kendewin was actually on the last Must to Adjust, and we have the opportunity to have, Mr. Cleous and another Must to
Yeah.
Adjust.
Wow.
So what's this must to adjust?
Must to adjust is that there's no excuses for
Okay.
today, and we don't remember tomorrow.
Okay.
Yesterday rather,
Okay.
because we don't know tomorrow. So we don't remember yesterday. So if you did kill a man yesterday, we forgive you today.
And you move forward.
Moving forward.
All right.
Easily understand. Yo, that brother agreed to them.
I,
Very
I,
impossible.
I hear a lot of people, always say, boy, I may never get to do this because of that. Me never, and when you look on people like them here, like a young youth, like 9 years old, like
Peak, I
that,
don't like your mask.
Yeah.
I don't like your mask.
Pull it down.
Fix it properly.
Down.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
You already
Thank,
have it Chinese
thank you.
already.
Thank you, sir.
I
Thank
thought
you,
we were
thank
in
you.
the forgiving.
No,
mood.
we're brothers on the show because
I'm just saying. I mean,
yes, yes, and
I had the must to adjust my mask. All right,
yeah,
sorry.
thank you very much.
I get it.
Yes.
No,
Yeah,
but,
man.
but like I said, these people always, attack why them can't do something. Or why? Boy, I may never get to go work today because of this. Because I say, our motto here at Overall Settings is always don't make excuses, make adjustments.
Right.
You know, man. So when you see a little boy like this, he exemplifies strength.
Yeah, man.
He has no choice but to go through what he's going through. You
Yeah,
know,
man.
man.
No
So,
other
so
choice.
you
You
can
got
look
plan
on
for
that and think about yourself and be like, sure, why me always why me I move so entitled?
Fika,
Yeah.
cut. The people out there will watch we. Log on to the live.
Yes.
Like, share, and
And
subscribe.
subscribe. Yeah.
It seems like our hard work is kind of in vain. Well, we're not in vain,
Mhm.
but we're supposed to be getting more likes, share, and subscribe on this platform.
Mhm.
This is the biggest platform ever.
Mhm.
Person be like, yes, we started yesterday. How many platform is interviewing? Name the number, Figo. Artist
At least we do at least 7 shows a week.
a week.
Week.
Another space of 3
A
days.
week.
You
And
know?
here's Mr. Cleous out of Great St. Thomas, Marant Bay, one of the maroon.
Yes.
Yeah, one of the maroon. Yes. Yes. So sad, Steve could hardly relate, even though he's from Bath. Him hardly could have related, but man, you was sites like him know everything himself country.
Yeah.
Steve, an Englishman, you know. He's an Englishman. Don't follow him.
Okay.
Look how he clad.
He's
Fully
clad.
dressed.
English style.
Bloody hell.
You're speaking to the audience of the imaginary Steve.
Yeah, man.
The
Yeah,
imaginary
man.
Steve is over there.
That's so lively, and we're happy to have Mr.
Hold
Cleous in
on.
the house tonight. Excuse me, I will turn you over to your time. If you ever interrupt me one more time, I'll give you water.
What about the must to adjust?
Thank you very much, sweetheart. Erica, you have something to say? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, let's get to the fact that
You're not left out.
Mr. Cleous,
Yes.
you are the epitome of the must to adjust. How do you,
He didn't understand most of just all, you know.
well, because you messed it up. But anyway, you're doing what most people will take at least a lifetime almost, at least 70 years to accomplish what you have already accomplished.
Oh.
You know, you're in.
In the microphone, please. You're not look man on the show.
It's obvious that it's right next to me, so it's kind of hard. But
Yeah,
anyway,
man.
so
Stay on the microphone.
let me just say to you, I take my hat off to you.
Thank you.
I really appreciate what you're doing for the communities, because it's not only that you're working with different organizations. And tell me a little bit about more of your upcoming and upbringing. What will make you inspire so much to want to do so much for children, especially with bullying? I could see that, 'cause that's one of I've experienced that
Forte?
with my son coming up. Yes.
Yeah. So a part of this, and I think the must to adjust. So I took a lot of personal development training,
Right.
and one of the things that I was taught, there's results and there's excuses, right? You
Exactly.
can't have the two.
No.
So if you have the results, you don't have the excuse. If you have the excuse, you don't have the result. So the concept of what I go with is like I don't want to sit here and have any excuses. I
Right.
want results. And the only way you get results is if you put in the work. So that's what I've been doing over the years. And for me, particularly because I come from Jamaica, one of the things that I saw when I landed here is that over here they drive on the other side.
Oh, yes. The
So
left side.
immediately I was like, all right, life is a little different over here. And from that point on till now, I've been here 26 years. I always saw that there's a different way to do things. And that's how I started to equate it now, that not because you're born in this environment,
Right.
that means that's how life is.
Right.
It's just what you're accustomed to. So
Exactly.
being that I'm able to now go into the community and interact with different people coming from Jamaica, like so many different backgrounds of people that you interact with.
It's
You have
true.
the Chinese, you have the white, you have the coolie, right? So
In
over here,
Indian.
yeah, over here is the same thing. Like I started to associate myself with different people, and the more different people I started to associate myself with, is the more I'm getting more knowledge of life and understanding of different things.
And
And
different
from
culture.
there, I started to gravitate towards, all right, I've learned so much. Where could I now take this energy and focus? And I'm sorry that English doesn't know where exactly where I'm from, but
Yes.
my grandmom in Jamaica, which at one point I had to start equate certain characteristics of myself, where
Right.
Right.
do they come from? So for me to be in the community, it's coming from my grandma.
Right.
So when I looked at it, my grandmom, she was the cook for those who were incarcerated.
Wow.
Put them out on the
Beautiful.
microphone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was the cook for those who were incarcerated. So she was a person that looked out for those who have less. And
Wow.
so now I took up that characteristic and start to reach out to those who are in a lesser situation.
Mm, great.
Yeah.
Great.
And
Great.
then now my father has a technological background. So one of my degrees in technology. So from that
Wow.
concept now I'm using the technology that I learned now to address the issues for those who are in a lesser position.
You're free to say what was his technicality?
So he's an electrician, which has to do with,
Wow.
yeah. So and then my mom is a nurse.
Oh
So
wow.
I have that
So
caring side
yeah,
of
Pick up
me.
yeah,
yourself, mommy and daddy out
yeah,
there.
Pick
yeah.
them up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so you were
Yeah,
definitely
man.
you have humanitarianism in your blood.
so
Right.
that's what I've
It
done.
come
I've
natural.
taken my concept of who I came from,
Yeah, man.
my mom, my dad, my grandmom, and
Yeah.
I've combined
So
them
sound
all.
like you grew up in the household with mommy and daddy, Cleous.
No. So I grew up with my grandmom.
Oh, your
That,
granny grew you.
yeah.
Okay.
And
Mm.
then in Jamaica, then when I came here now, I moved up here with my mom.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha. Your mama migrated a long time. I
Yes,
put the two seeds together to make the thing that you could reach. I
exactly.
give thanks for that.
Oh my
Mommy and
goodness.
daddy still around?
Yes. So and one of the things, because my mom, when we migrated here,
Mm.
my mom used to live in New York. But what she did, she moved from New York to the Poconos, and I never understood it until I think it was either last year or this year that I
Mm.
started to really understand it.
Yeah,
And
mommy,
this is
understand. More money in New York, cheaper to live at
no,
Poconos.
but this is 26 years ago.
Mm.
What happened? My mom didn't want us to have that lifestyle of what it would be like in New York.
Oh.
So she moved to the Poconos. In the Poconos, when we just moved there, my neighbor was like a mile down the road.
One different life from
Yeah.
Jamaica.
And
That's that.
it's like now I started to realize how safe she wanted us to be and not to
Yeah,
be in
man.
that limelight of
Yeah.
where you're in New York, in the Bronx. Every
Everything.
minute is like another shooting.
Right.
Yeah.
I get
Especially
you.
growing up a
And
male
Did you enjoy the
character.
Poconos though?
Oh, yes.
Are
I
you still
do.
there?
Huh?
You still living there?
No, I'm here in Philly.
Oh, you're not feeling now.
Yeah.
So would you say that I mean because a lot of times sometimes it can work in reverse. You obviously turned out to be, a very good person. But I noticed, would you say that you were sheltered growing up, or?
So sheltered, not necessary. Yes,
Mhm.
but in a different type of shelter.
Good
So
shelter.
yes, so
Good
growing up
shelter.
in Jamaica, this is one thing that I never understood. But I have friends. I'll be out with the friends right now, like this,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, man. Yeah, man.
And then we go home, and then I hear that the friend is in jail.
Oh wow.
Like,
And your friend.
no, I don't know what happened, but for them, they always looked out for me. They would never do nothing illegal around me.
I grew up
They
like
would
that too.
always
Yeah.
take me home first,
Yes.
and then yeah,
That's real friend.
even smoking. I've been around people who smoke weed all the time, and they would never
Give
put
you a
a
spliff.
weed. No, from growing up, they always Cleous, you're going to school. That's it. And I always hang out with older folks, and they all, I don't know what happened, what they saw in me, but they always looked out for me. Like if they're gonna do a crime, I mean,
What kind of
Clear
crime?
no build that way
listen,
there. Yes,
listen.
yes, 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 yes.
And I know people that was one of the most wanted person in St. Thomas.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, whenever they're gonna do their crime, they brought me home. They would never
You
do.
see, you know what happened, Clear? I'm gonna tell you this honestly. Growing up as a youth,
Yeah.
that's the way we grew up. And now you have some little youth influence the other youth, influence
do.
the other youth. And
To
if
do.
the other youth don't want to do like they would take you home, he's a dead man.
Yeah.
But how me grew up, and I think the same way you say you grew up. Council like a broker shop.
Mhm.
You not build for broke shop. You can't broke in no
Yeah.
shop.
Thank you.
You are go home. Thank you very much, sir. Yeah. Yeah. You have to go home. And as some me grew up.
Yeah.
Yeah, me know the man used to jump the man fence and pick him orange.
Yeah.
But me can't come over the fence.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I said good life. Good
And
life, road
that's
boy. Good life,
so
good life, good
when
life.
I started to look at it, it's almost like there was an angel over my life growing up because even my grandmom, who was the one who fed the people who were incarcerated,
Right.
they were like, Cleous, I don't want you to hang out with this person. I just fed him last night,
Him not do you nothing.
yesterday.
Not
But
doing
you
anything.
were with him, and that was like my one and two. Like anywhere you see him, you would see me. So my grandmama always had a fear of me hanging out with him because she's like, oh, that's who I just fed in the jail.
Wow. But she never knew how safe you was.
Yeah.
Because that meal saved your life.
Oh my goodness. And it came to the as you're saying. Um, so at my house there was always food. And even from then I started to look at now I'm starting to equate that the stuff that I'm doing today, it's nothing new.
Right.
Because some of my friends they didn't have food. And I would even give them my dinner
Wow.
and
That's
do
where
without.
humanitarian comes in.
Not only that, because my grandmom, like she cook all day. That was her job.
So
So
you know you could give your dinner and still get more dinner.
yes. And not only that, like my family was in that ruckus part, like but we weren't in that wealthy part too. So
But you
like
could have feed yourself.
yes.
You're in a farming community.
On Sundays the normal thing is like chicken. For us it's like curry goat or oxtail. And
Right,
for
right,
me it's
right.
like I would actually switch my dinner with my friends for them to taste the oxtail or curry goat.
Rastafari.
But those are things that were embedded in me from I was younger. So the things that I'm doing now is
Come
nothing
naturally,
new.
yes.
Grandma still
Yeah.
Come
around?
naturally. Come
No,
naturally.
so my grandma passed about
Rest in
10,
peace, grandma. But you
yeah,
should have
about
shared
10
some
years
steal them
ago.
more, you know. 'Cause we never get none of it.
For real.
Yeah, you never get none of
About
it.
10 years ago. And this is one of the things that I started. So I went back to school, got another degree in human services and psychology.
Yeah.
So I started to understand now. This is how I was able to pinpoint who am I.
Yeah.
And who am I is the characteristics of my mom, my dad, and my
And your
grandma.
grandmother.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in that sense, now I started to understand that who you are as a child plays out as an adult.
But my question to you is this: the fact that you are living, you have a taste of both worlds. Do you
Yes.
think that it was necessary for you to experience someone who might be on the rough side of town? Do you think somehow that you got some strength from that? That-
Ye-
I think so.
yes.
Right.
So I have some friends now.
You just leaving this thing alone. Talking on the microphone. Stop up on the man. You
I
don't
have
want you.
I have some friends now, and they do illegal stuff, right? But as you were saying, listen, if you did that yesterday, you see me today, I don't ever worry about
Yeah,
that.
man, that's
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 right.
that's that's the
So
same
when I
thing. They
see
must to
them,
adjust. I just over there.
and it's
Must to
funny,
adjust.
it's like I feel more real around them
Yeah, man.
than when I go around with certain people dealing with business.
Yeah, man.
Right.
But it's like I understand this is the way they make a life. Like
Right.
they don't have the degree, they don't have the ability to go out there and get the job that's gonna pay $50,000 or $60,000 a year. So
Right.
this is how they have to make their living, whether
Yes.
it's going out and selling this or robbing this. So for me, I look at those people like as you're saying, when I go around them I see a different type of people. People who are
Right.
not going against the system because they want to, but because they're in what is called a survival mode. It's like
Yes.
Yes.
I gotta survive. If
Yes.
I have to sell this, this is how I gotta survive.
Yes.
Right.
And also it's due to the fact that everything in life, whether good or bad,
But
have use.
yes,
It's true.
and I've learned a lot from them. So yeah, I'm here today, but tomorrow I'm there. I'm there, and
But
it's all about how you build up of who you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a concept that says get rid of negative people.
how do you get rid of them?
That's like,
They're not the money
listen,
makers.
I don't know who came up with that,
Right.
but you could never get rid of negative people and really have that successful life.
Yes.
True.
Because some of these negative people that are put in the path is the path that helps you now to become successful.
Exactly.
Um, Going back to what I said, I have a degree in technology. So
Yes.
one of the
Right.
things that I learned was that electricity,
Uh-huh.
right? In order for us to have light, it has to be what is called electron.
Right.
Electron is the negative part of the current.
Yes.
Exactly.
So you can't have light without the negative
No.
concept. So when I look at that and I equate it now, if I'm gonna be in this world, then there's negative things that's gonna come in my life. There's negative people that's gonna come in my life, and it's like I'm not looking to get rid of you. I'm looking how to use you as a catapult to now help me to get to where I
Right.
need to go.
But you know, say when me learn, it's like everything is about perception.
Yeah.
So you know when how am I who am I to say that you're negative? You know what I'm saying?
Thank
Because
you.
Exactly.
you see what I mean? So it's like what because he can be the perfect person, never smoke, never drink, never do a crime, feed everybody, do all the way my do. And
The worst person in the world.
somebody still
Yeah.
I'm gonna find something negative
Of
about
course.
what you are.
But,
Of course.
And the same thing when I talk about last night.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
We
Oh, him go like him too nice. Him just
Right.
slow in the car and
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Watch him
Yo.
now. The one Cleous. Him a nice boy.
speak
Thank
his
you.
spokey and him
Like,
him
share, and subscribe on the live Junker people. Intellectual subjects are directed on the table. Put you out another world.
yeah, man.
But the people them so are going
but Cleous.
overall settings to the world. Look a girl.
Yeah, Erica, you kind of jumpy tonight, bro. We not
Yes,
like.
we
You kind of jumpy tonight,
Yeah.
Erica. We don't know.
Look a girl.
I was to choose you say yellow man over the boat. We don't know.
Me not know,
She
but
believing
anyway,
then.
But listen, I'm excited about Mr. Cleous here because some of the background that we share,
Yeah.
you will see like what brought you into theater. Like that's exciting.
Theater?
Me. Yes.
So I was a part of this organization, and then what happened? We had to do a community event. So for me, um, I was talking to someone before, a young lady, and she had a son who exhibited bullying characteristics.
Yes.
So dealing with him now, I started to understand the concept of bullying. So
Mm.
going back now, being a part of this organization, they asked me to do a community event. So what I actually did, I put together a 6 weeks event, and a part of that event was also to do a theatrical production. But it was,
Okay.
I wrote the script out,
Uh-huh.
but it was supposed to reenact it. Like we're sitting here, I would give you the script and you read your part, I read my part. that's how I did it. After that session, now I realized how impactful that demonstration was. And that's how I started to look into the art now.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Cleous, I know there's many components to what makes up a Cleous Young.
Yeah.
Um, my experience with you was actually working in very close proximity um, with you being an artist, me
Mm.
being an artist.
Yeah.
We were introduced by another artist by the name of Andre Porter,
Yes.
and you were doing a musical book at the time
Yes.
entitled Mountain of Miracles.
Miracles.
We sanctioned some heavyweights to work on that project. The Honorable Pablo Fakari, where I come from back in
Bob
Bob Marley
Marley.
days.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
me I say,
yeah.
Gitsy, um,
Lady Alma.
Lady Alma, you know, worldwide vocalist. I penned the song, and you know, and it was the theme for the book. So, was that your first book, or what? Where at what point did you start being realize that you had a knack for writing, and did that passion come before the theater, or how did that transition go?
So the book, going back to the Poconos, when I was in the Poconos, I used to date this young lady, and
Mhm.
one of the things that I did on when you meet someone and you start to date them, it's
Yeah,
like whatever you did to get them,
yeah.
it's sometimes you just let that go.
Yeah.
For me, it was like, okay, when I was trying to get with you, I was writing you poems. So even when I got with you now, I started to write monthly poems to continue.
Okay.
And one of the poems that I wrote was seeing us together forever.
Yeah.
And when I wrote it, I was like, wow, this could be turned into like a two pages story,
Right.
which is what I did. And I sat down and I wrote it. After that, I was like, wow, this could be turned into a chapter book. Never written a chapter book before. I just sat down, prayed, and before you know it, within a
This was
week,
there.
I wrote my first book.
Wow.
So that's
Damn.
how that came. So
You,
that was called the prophetic artist.
you remember that
Which
poem?
Understand.
huh?
You remember that poem you wrote to her?
Not directly, but I know it was the concept of it is how it's
You
a
remember? You remember nothing.
no. That was like that's like 20 years ago.
You remember nothing in that poem.
No.
You can't
I mean,
remember.
the concept of it was how I met this young lady, and as a prophetic artist, I was able to illustrate, right? But when I illustrated the future of us.
You're trying to get this man in trouble. This man
Can
have
you
a
can you
wife
do,
or a
can you do
girlfriend
dub
right
poet?
now.
Can I? Yeah,
You can do dub poet. I
yeah.
want you to use that microphone in front of you properly,
Right
just
now.
as it right there, and I want you to get into some poetical skills that you have
So let me see.
Ooh.
by starting to say overall settings. This poem is to us.
All right.
All right. So overall settings, the podcast that differs. There are many a times. Did I say times? Yes. When my color was a crime. And because of my color, I was chastised and brutalized and then vandalized, all because I was judged with the evilest eyes. But hold up, for I'm not finished. Just before my speech, I was a leech, or to put it in your term, I was a worm. But hold up again. But now you want to bargain? So the overall setting is to understand that life is not always going to be a blessing,
Right.
but even the curse, you can resurrect and become the next thing.
Stop.
Wow.
Aye, aye.
Wow.
Love
Wow. Amazing.
Some powerful words,
Amazing.
out of Mr.
Amazing,
Cleous.
brother.
it. So inspired.
Yeah,
Some powerful
love that.
words
Love that.
Woke
out
me
of
up a
Mr.
bit.
Cleous.
Yeah, man.
That's how deep I and I going. I think. You know, something I run into it. Big up Steve out of Bath. Big up Cleous out of Marant Bay.
Yeah.
St. Thomas.
The queen of myself.
Summer.
I am on a podcast.
But
Look up when we talk about that cow calf.
yeah, but the writing,
Yes, sir.
the writing thing came when I was in the Poconos.
Mm.
That's where from the young lady, like before her, my friends like Valentine's Day is coming up. I would have friends that call me like, "Hey, could you write me a poem? Could you write me a letter for my significant other?"
Wow.
And I would actually write the poem or write the letter to them,
Yes.
right, for their significant other.
Right.
And it was like the significant other couldn't tell the difference that it was
Because it was
someone.
personalized.
Wow.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
Wow.
Wow. You have one of the
Wow.
girls, them clear. You have one of the girls, them for yourself. But you're right, you know.
So that's how I started to write.
Did you ever fall out with anyone and then go behind him back and go tell him, girl, say,
Are you
in
right,
it?"
son? Are you right, the letter there? No?
No, but it's funny. There's a movie with Cuban Gooding Jr.
Oh, okay.
I forgot the movie name.
Mhm.
I remember my friend. He went out with this young lady that was engaged to someone, but they were going through a little rough time, and they went out and watched that movie. And he came back. He's like, "Cleous, I really like this girl. Could you write me um, a poem for her?"
Mm.
And you know, I sat down and I wrote the poem based on the Cuban Gooding movie that they went and saw. I think it's called Man of Honor or something like that. I wrote that, and you know that that girl got disengaged to the other person that she was engaged to, and
Wow.
then started dating my friend based
Wow.
on that poem that
Wow.
Awesome.
Wow.
Write me a
Did you
poem.
pray for forgiveness for that? Job beat you, you know.
I no.
Job
Well,
beat
well,
you.
well, all me can say is Cleo is set up on a worldwide platform, so
Yeah, man.
that was like a confession.
Yes, exactly. Eh, your job update, yeah.
Listen,
Yeah,
after
man.
tomorrow, none of that no matter, right?
Forgive him today. Forgive him today.
Yeah.
And forget about yesterday. That's the must to adjust. Clear.
Yes.
How much siblings?
So I have it's 5 and 5, mom
Yeah.
and dad.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One mother, one father.
Him say mother and father. You know, you're the man say
So
5 and 5.
Yeah.
5 and 5.
Mommy have 5,
Oh,
daddy have
Yeah,
5.
man. The mom don't have
So-
5 and daddy have 5.
So 4 now.
Sorry.
At least 4 on my dad, because someone just murdered my brother
Oh, wow.
about,
See me, I tell you. Yeah.
about
Wow.
10 days ago.
Oh,
Oh,
very sorry to hear that.
Condolence.
Yeah.
Condolence.
condolence.
Yeah, hold it up.
Huh?
Yeah, hold it.
Listen, I don't know how other people process stuff like this,
Mhm.
but I process it in a manner of what greater thing can come out of this.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
So that's what I've been doing, and I've been sitting down in what I call my lab in meditation and stuff like
Yeah, man.
that, and finding the best things that could come
To
out
move
of it.
forward.
Yeah,
So you hold it. That me say you hold it.
yeah.
I don't like you know feel it. No matter you want to tell me as a human, you know, your brother dead, you know.
Yeah,
So you hold it. So, you know, we have to just say the father died and I mean they believe in the creator, correct?
yeah,
And you know that the creator exists every time.
yeah.
Yes.
And as a matter of fact, the young man that I brought here today,
Yes.
he's right over there.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna adapt him
Mhm.
as my younger brother.
Mm.
Show him up, man. Show him up.
Come show your face on the show, man.
So-
Come over here, young boy.
What happened? He's a musician too.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Let me get
Mama, come
Come,
run us up. Mama, come run us up. Come run us up. Come to the camera. Find yourself around us. You're small.
this is Cleo's new adopted younger brother, and your name is
What's your name, son?
Hanif.
Anif. Okay.
Yeah, this is Hanif. Hanif is here with us.
yeah.
He's a musician.
With the adoption.
So,
You know, kind of want to feel about it still, but
Yeah, man.
go on, talk.
Yeah.
so Anif is actually coming from a story of where when he was younger, he was kidnapped by the foster care.
Oh no.
Yeah, so he was in the foster care for about 7 years.
Oh wow.
So his father and I and different people work for the past couple of years to get him out of the
The
foster.
system, yeah.
Yeah.
Finally out.
Mhm.
Wow.
So um, what we're looking at now, he has the ability to write lyrics.
Oh wow.
Oh,
So I'm
wow.
gonna be taking him under my wings and
Yes.
helping him to the stuff that I'm involved in the community with.
Hmm.
I'm gonna be helping him now to really navigate through the community through his musical ability.
Wow.
So I lost a brother, but it's like I'm gonna
In and
adapt.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my brother was known in St. Thomas as one of the best chefs in St. Thomas.
Oh wow.
So I spoke to Anif and I'm like, listen, I'm here to make you one of the greatest rapper. Um,
Exactly. Well, neat.
so, yeah.
Are you sure you want to share some of your vocals with us? A little piece of something. You gotta put your name out there, and you're in the right place for this.
Uh,
Worldwide.
uh, basically, a little bit about me. I don't know. I always had it hard growing up. I don't know. I just never know how to go about it. But one thing I found about me, I always loved music, and I developed everything through music. So it's even when I just do certain stuff, I just do it through music and try to, ease my mind because I tend to get a little angry sometimes.
Hmm.
So yeah.
So you can give us a little piece or something?
A little piece of what you wrote.
Uh,
You're not too shy. Oh, he's getting
Nah.
into the. Oh, see the professionality is coming.
And then
Wait
a
for it.
man like you know people, right?
Mm.
To connect with you and
Oh, definitely, definitely,
All
definitely.
right, so a little bit what I wrote. I said, me and my family, we've been stressing, looking for a better day. We've been taking life slowly, but I want to aviate. You see this, the airport adventures, and I want to fly away. Probably fly right out to Cali or Hawaii, make get away. I don't really go to church, but sometimes at night I pray. I do music cause I love it. I don't care what you're gonna say. I did this one for my granny, plus my family and my bay. I'm just that lion in the jungle. I ain't fearing all these prey. I'm trying to find somewhere to move, trying to find somewhere to stay. Different cities, different countries, cause the block is being played. I was sitting here just thinking, talking to my elder Dre. He said that I'm something special. I'ma make it out one day.
Oh, I love. Woo! I see it.
Nice,
I
nice,
get
nice,
Shakespeare being raised here.
nice, nice, nice,
Wow.
nice, nice,
so
nice,
what
nice.
you were saying earlier, Pico,
Hmm.
that you were the one that did the song for the Mountain of Miracles.
Hmm.
So at 15 now, right?
Hmm.
I'm taking him and I'm allowing him now to do the song for my new book that's coming
The
out.
airport
Oh,
adventure, wicked,
Yeah.
wow.
wicked.
So this is what
Beautiful.
he's saying. He wants to go to different cities, different
Right,
countries. Like
exactly,
that's what the airport
exactly,
adventure is
Right.
all about.
exactly. From getting from one point to the
Yes.
next.
Point.
Yeah, man.
So I'm putting him in that position where look at it. Before I would reach out to people like Fico
Yes.
to do work on that caliber. But
Right.
Mhm.
now I'm looking at it now we need to now get the younger
Get the
people
youth in. Get them
and get
involved.
them engaged. So even today,
And that's changing the narrative.
yeah,
That's
he
it.
wrote. I asked him to do it. I wrote it today. I met up with him and we just sat down and just made a little adjustment.
Wow.
But it's me now giving him that leeway where he could say that I'm taking on this big project and
Exactly,
start to guide
exactly,
him in that concept now of
exactly,
how you really put it together.
exactly.
And then now, once it's done, now you start to connect him with different people such as yourself,
Mhm.
where
Yeah.
now he could now start being led by people who have done it in a greater aspect.
Exactly,
Exactly.
exactly. Yeah, man. The first thing is identifying your talent, and he obviously has identified it.
Yes.
And then once you identify it, you start to hone it to a point where you get to a point where you can't go beyond that point, and then you just go to the next level with it.
Yeah.
And you clearly have a natural talent, and
Thank you. Thank
when
you.
you have certain experiences in life, like you said, he's another example of
Yes.
having the
Yeah.
most, like, being able to make adjustments
Right.
opposed to making excuses. You know what I'm saying? So it's something that life experience to me, like, I have to feel an artist. So when you tell me a story through your music,
Right.
even if somebody else wrote it for you, just by the way you deliver it and own it,
Yeah.
it's convincing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And
Right.
it's definitely
Right.
convincing, because I think at, at a lot of times, a lot of us want to fly away. I even had a I even like I had the opportunity to be in a I mean you're a little younger, but it was like this big major artist back in the day named Maxi Priest, and the producer that I was working with was making a track for him, and I was like, yo, I got something for this. At that particular time, I had nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like sitting there like, oh, they're not gonna give me a chance to go. And Maxi Priest was like, yo, let him go. And I didn't have anything written, but when I heard the track, I just closed my eyes and I'm like, sometimes I feel the need to fly away to a brighter day. Oh, angel, won't you come my way? And please lift me up onto those heavenly skies and erase that veil from in front of me eyes. Just like a carousel, yo, yo. Spinning round and round, round and round. And it became a signature song for me. You know what I'm saying? So you got something special, man. And you know, like I said, you're among the right people. And whenever you're ready to go to that next level, I'll be there. It's a pleasure, Anif.
Keep on writing, keep sharing your stuff.
Yes.
That's one of the reasons why I brought him. I wanted to get him start being exposed to
Mhm.
things like this,
Right,
where
right.
moving forward, he can come and do an interview by himself.
Right,
Exactly.
exactly.
Because he has seen it.
Exactly.
Because if you're going to be a rapper, at some point you're going to have to do interviews.
Exactly.
Right.
If you
Exactly.
This is
been
your first
around,
interview. Come, this is your first interview.
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Hey.
Overall settings.
Yeah.
Right.
This is the podcast that differs.
So this is a part of what I've taken on, and now so I'm gonna sign him to a deal,
Cool.
a
Cool.
1 year deal,
Cool.
and
Cool.
really work with him for the next
Developing
year.
and
Yeah.
yeah. Hmm.
And majority of the things that I've done over the years through personal development,
Hmm.
this is what I'm gonna now offer to him.
Hmm.
Because when you go through personal development, you see life from a different angle.
Exactly.
True.
And this is what I expressed to him. If you see life from a different angle, then when you put the pen and paper
Yes.
together,
Yes.
it comes out with a different way of writing certain type of music.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
he's gonna go through some of the things that I've been through,
Hmm.
Right.
so he can now see life from a different angle.
Hmm.
And a big part of it now, even though he's young, for me is to travel with him to different either states or different countries.
Hmm.
So it's not just rapping about it. You're
It's actually
actually
experiencing
living
it.
Living
it.
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And that's the main thing. Like, you know, I have I left school at the ninth grade. In the ninth grade. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like I can sit down and hold a conversation with anybody. And one of the reasons why is that I had the ability to travel.
Right.
And I
Same
seen
here.
how things were done differently everywhere that I went.
Yeah.
And you know, and it made sense to me, which is why I look at life from the vantage point that I look at it at. I feel like, you know, as I dig deeper into who I am and start to identify myself, like just like Cleo has said, I look at life from a different perspective, and I realize and recognize and respect the fact that, you know, like I said before, everything in life has use, good and bad.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's definitely, you know, something that we can relate on, you know, and I'm glad that, you know, this young man has somebody like you, because there's so many others out there who don't,
No.
you know.
And the fact that I can leave an advice with you. Your experience and your sound, which is your music, right? That's your voice. Your voice will bring many people to come out of what they're going through. So don't let what you've been through become something that's gonna haunt you. No, you've gotten over it now. Your music shows it
Mhm.
that I've lived this before and now this is where I'm at. So that's your positive.
You know why I'm
And that's your
laughing?
strength.
That's what we just
talked
discussed.
about it earlier.
Wow.
We just
Wow.
discussed it right before we came in.
Erica's on point like a pencil.
It's like a process of aviation. Basically, like
Right.
you're not when you take off, you don't take off to stay in the same place. You
No,
move on
can
to a new
never.
destination.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm heavy,
Yeah.
man. I'm well heavy.
Heavy man,
The
hey.
man well heavy.
Listen, I
Very
started
and
intelligent.
I like, and then I like
So
this.
intelligent.
listen, I
Yeah.
Not at
started
all.
teaching him the concept already.
Learning
Right.
from the
Yeah,
best,
Right.
so
from Mr.
And he
Clark.
retains it. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
so
beautiful.
this is
That's
day
beautiful.
one on the job
Yeah,
today,
yeah,
like
yeah,
getting
definitely,
onto
man,
the
definitely.
lyrics and stuff
Well,
like
what a
that.
crash course because, like I said, you're on one of the fastest growing, platforms out there, and and like from boom, like from cradle to the big leagues.
It's so funny. It's like okay, it's like your shirt a stage with Yellow Man, but you're here first, then you're gonna have Singing Sweet and Yellow Man on the same stage.
Right.
It's the same interview, almost the same setting.
Mhm.
So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, it's
So
like you're the opening act.
it's like
Yeah.
you look at it like that. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? So
right,
Do
you're
you
already
know who Yellow Man
abbreviated.
is?
You gonna learn in a
He,
minute.
Oh,
he's the
What
king.
yellow?
He's the king
he's
of the
one of
dance. He's the king of the
listen.
dance hall. He's
Yeah,
one of the most premier reggae artists of like all time. He's
yeah.
coming all the way from back. You ever heard about Bob
You know
Marley?
where it
Bob
came
Yeah,
from.
Marley.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
So
he's
what
from back in
they're
that time
saying,
up until now.
But you want to hear something funny? He actually was adapt. He was into the same system like you.
Yeah, he was actually in
Orphanage.
an
He was an
orphanage.
orphanage.
Yeah.
oh,
That's
Hmm.
what I'm trying to say to you.
Oh,
Do you understand what's
so
going on
yeah.
here? So
do
this is
you
where.
see where you're being?
Okay.
So you know
Okay.
when you have
That's the inspiration right there.
a stage show like
Yeah.
a concert,
Yeah, yeah.
and then the big artists they come on later.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
little artists go
Yeah,
on
on
home.
first, yeah.
All right, so you're the little artist that's right here
Hmm.
now,
Right.
because after this interview, they're gonna interview Yellow Man,
Right.
which is one of the Jamaica's greatest singer,
Yeah,
songwriter,
Yeah.
definitely,
musician.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
man,
you're
worldwide known,
and you're
worldwide,
yellow
world
too.
renowned.
You're yellow.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
You
So
got the
it's
yellow
a lot of parallel things going on there.
Yeah,
So
so
spiritual.
that's where we're looking to push him now. And my his dad and I are real close.
Hmm.
So it's like whatever I could do to help him
Right.
Hmm.
not go down the path of where he's gonna do something and jeopardize the ability
Exactly.
to rap
Which
or
happens
Right.
a
whatever.
lot.
Yeah.
A lot in the rap community or
Right.
the artist community. You're
Yeah,
his
man.
mentor, and you're doing a wonderful job for
Yeah,
him.
man. Definitely,
Wonderful job.
definitely,
So
definitely.
that's where I'm gonna and really taking it on from a whole different level. Like I know it's the mentorship role,
Hmm.
Yeah.
but it's like mentorship on a whole nother level.
Got to see that.
Because it is coming personally because I just lost a brother,
Hmm.
Right.
and I recall the things that my brother and I was thinking about doing together, and it's like I can't do it with him,
Right.
but I could actually do it with someone else.
Hmm.
So now it's like for me, I have this book coming out, but after this book is like there's nothing else really I need to really achieve in life.
Really?
So
Wow.
tell us a
Look what
little
you've
about
done.
the airport adventure.
So the air
And not before you go there, is it a children's book? Are you primarily a children's author or
so it's a children's book, but it's a family engagement.
okay,
Right.
So
okay.
one of the things that I realized while I used to teach
Hmm.
is
Right.
that when you teach your students and they go home, they don't share what they learn with
Hmm.
their parents.
Hmm.
That's true.
Then I'm also a speaker and I do workshops within the community.
Hmm.
When you have the adults now and you teach them certain things, when they go home, they don't share it with the children. So
Hmm.
there's an imbalance between knowledge within the home.
Hmm.
So whatever the child learns, it doesn't share with the adults.
Hmm.
Whatever the adults learn, they don't share with the child.
Right.
So for me, what I've done with this book, it's a children's book,
Hmm.
but I made it a family engagement.
I
Right.
like that's
Right.
very unique.
Yes.
Right.
So it's a concept we're talking about the airport adventure. And
Hmm.
one of the things that I found out about the airport is that they utilize safety as a
Hmm.
priority.
Hmm.
And as
Right.
a priority, it allows the airport industry to become one of the safest transportation
Hmm.
Right.
modes within this earth.
Right.
So
Right.
you hardly ever hear that there's a plane crash.
That's true.
Hmm.
You get so when I realized, wow, they utilize safety to make them become so successful. One of the stats I had was In 2018, they flew 4.3 billion passengers to their destination safely.
Right.
4.3, yeah, 4.3 billion. And I'm like, wow, all because they incorporated safety as a priority. They got 4.3 billion people to their destination. Ironically, now, Anif is trying to get to a destination.
Exactly.
So I'm implementing the safeguards that would allow him now to get there. Because what I was able to do with the airport adventure, I'm able to translate the concept of the airport and put it now in the context of a human.
That's beautiful.
And it's the same concept of, ironically, whatever it takes a plane to move from here to there, it's the same elements that's required to take a human being from here to here.
Basically.
And this is what the airport adventure is all gonna be about. And the book is coming out soon, but because I wrote the book and I have the inside of the book, I could
Right.
take the lessons from the book and apply them in reality.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, man.
So
Well, you got it all
There
figured
will
out.
be many uniques coming up, but also you gotta share with us where can we find your books and your books to write prior or anything that you're doing in the community that people can get involved that you wanna share. Like where can we find you?
so the book can be found on Amazon, and then it's gonna be on my website as well, theairportadventure.com. But this book is it's a little bit different. I've written 9 books, published 9 books before.
Wow.
This one is a little bit different. I've spent the last 2 years really studying and understanding the airport from a different angle.
I can see.
People see the airport as in a place that I go and I take a flight and go to a new destination.
Right.
That new destination is typically something that's make you happy or joyful, like
Right.
if I'm flying and I'm going on vacation to say Paris,
Right.
I'm going there to enjoy myself. That
Right.
means at that destination is better than where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Wow.
No one is gonna take a vacation to go to a worse place.
No.
So what I've realized is that the same principles that applies to take a person from one location to a new destination, if you translate those in layman terms, then you can get a person to move from a place where they're in a lesser part of their life to
Right.
they're in a higher level of their life. And being that I'm coming from a human service and psychological background,
Yeah.
I'm able to see certain things that they're able to translate. So at one point, and I'm sharing this because at one point, um, like I felt betrayed by several friends
Right.
to
Right.
the point where at night I couldn't sleep right.
Wow.
Right, eating, couldn't eat.
Wow.
My thinking, like I was on a whole different level because of this betrayal with the friends, right?
Mm.
And at some point, something in my spirit, which comes back to what you asked, if I believe in God. So at some point, something in my spirit told me about what is called a black box.
Mm.
A black box is on a plane.
Yeah,
When the
man.
plane crashes, that's
Right.
what they go to.
True.
And at that point, my life had crashed.
Yeah.
I understood it like a year plus later, as in I went through what is called a mild depression.
Yes.
It's hard when someone that you're relying on backstab you,
Mm.
right?
No.
So at that point, that's how I actually discovered the airport adventure, because whatever came in my spirit about the black box, it gave me the instructions of what to do, and I
Right.
followed the instructions, and that's what get had me recover from that mild depression.
Wow.
Here's the nugget now. I started to look at it that I was slipped into a mild depression. At
Mhm.
one point, it revealed to me and said, "You was not in a mild depression. Stop saying that."
Right.
What happened? You was in a low condition with your life.
Mm-hmm.
So doctors, they analyze it and they tell you you have a mild depression, but the
Right.
concept is not you have a depression. What happens when your life is at a lower level, then this is how you operate. So
Right.
nothing was wrong with you.
No.
It's just that you was at a low level
Plane a
of
fly
your
low.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Which now we're in this season, right? What season are we in now?
COVID-19.
Winter, right? So
Right.
winter now means that the trees they go down.
Oh,
They don't die. They
no.
just go down.
That's true.
So what you look at some point in our life, we go through what is called a winter season. Depending on the psychological concept of it, they now consider these things depression, right? And then now we believe that we have depression if we don't understand the concept of what happens when your life is at the
Changes.
winter
Changes.
state.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it's a
I
whole
like that.
different way of
Wow.
looking at
Wow.
things that,
Wow.
Wow.
hey, I'm going through my winter state. Nothing
Yeah.
is wrong with me.
Yeah, man,
I
that's
just
true.
need
Yeah, I'm
the
going through my
That's
spring,
true.
winter stage.
the
That's true.
spring
Yeah, man.
to
And
come
you know that's
around.
kind of,
Changes in
and
the
you know,
life.
and you know that's kind of relative to the narrative that's being pushed through this COVID thing now.
Right,
Listen.
for real. I'm going
Me
through
don't
my...
really want to get too deep in it,
No,
but
Yeah.
you know what me I talk
you
about
pulled
now.
it
Yes.
out,
You
man.
know what I mean? Like because if like you don't hear anybody saying you know, eat right, take vitamins, do this or do
Right,
that, stay in the house. You're gonna die if you don't wear a mask.
right.
And you know what I mean? So this is like this fear mongering, you know what I mean, that they're pushing on you. And if you stay in the house and just lay on the couch, you're gonna get fat and like because you're just going and buying
Yo.
all of this food and
Exactly. And also, like you said, the low stages. From your low stage, you see where you can write a very inspirational rap song. You can write another book. People can write another song. You can have more ideas. We need those stages, but we just can't stay in there.
So this is what he's gonna be doing.
Right,
So these things that I'm talking about, I talk about them right now on a minimal aspect,
right.
but when I'm with him,
Mhm.
I'm giving him to the highest level.
Mhm.
Exactly.
So he can understand these things now and he can sit down and translate them into lyrics.
Mhm.
Because
Right.
his generation need to hear these
Oh yeah,
things.
most definitely.
What
Yes.
happened with
Most
our
definitely.
generation, they did us wrong.
Mhm.
Big time.
Mhm.
When I tell you,
Mhm.
I don't
You're
even want to,
having it good, man.
they did us wrong.
Mhm.
Um,
Mm.
look at it, just a small context, right? They said that Christopher Columbus no longer discovered such and such, right? But for all our lives, we were believing that this was what happened.
Mhm.
So just that's just one thing. Imagine how many other things they lied about.
Mhm.
Oh,
So it's almost like we're living a lie with our own life.
yes.
Mhm.
And now we're at an adult stage. It's like we have all these problems with each other because we have been fed so many lies.
Mhm.
Exactly.
And it's like at my point now, I'm understanding these things, and I'm the more understanding them, I realize that I can't really implement certain things in my life
Mhm.
because I'm too old.
Right.
Right.
And when you form what is called a habit or a behavior, it's
Mhm.
hard to break that
Yeah,
Yes.
man,
behavior
definitely.
if you have been
Right
doing
after
things
it's
for
Mhm.
hard to
like 20,
break.
30 years.
It
Yeah.
becomes an inborn concept.
Thank you. So
Mhm.
Exactly.
what happened now that I learned it,
And this is coming from somebody with a ninth grade education. Proceed, go on.
right?
Let us say.
What I've learned while I was in college and learning at these things, I created what is called CME,
Mhm.
College Made Easy.
Mhm.
Oh,
So I break these things down now for them
Mhm.
right, right.
so they can now take it and run with it.
So, Mr. Cleos,
Yes.
boy, we can't talk to you forever
Oh,
because you
forever,
really have
man.
dropped some nugget in our youth.
Not to them.
But it has been a solid hour.
Very much so.
Um, Before we wrap this up, I need you to tell people where they can find your book, where they can interact with you. You
Right.
know what I'm saying, on your social media networks, or you know, if it's some type of workshop or anything that you need to put out there to the public for them to know, you know, and I mean how to get in contact with you because you have some nugget, you know. And when the book drop, you definitely have to forward back and make we
Yes.
talk
I
about
ever
it, you
want
know
to
what I
sign
mean?
autograph
And when you drop a song with Anif, you definitely have to forward back on the
Wagwan.
platform and make we talk about it.
Yes.
So
So the ultimate project that I'm working on right now is the book.
okay,
No,
Right.
and it's like this is my contribution to the world.
okay,
Um,
Wow.
they can find me on Facebook or Instagram under Cleous Young.
okay.
Right.
Cleous
Mm-hmm.
Young. Young.
Right.
Okay, clear.
Or they can go to the airportadventure.com
Mm-hmm.
and they can find me on there. But what I've done within the last 2 years,
Yeah.
I've really sat down and really looked at life from a different angle. And from those different angles, now I started to put together different things.
Right.
The number one thing that I'm looking at is the book.
I
Once that
can't
book,
wait to see this book.
Yeah,
like
man.
I built everything in that book now. Um, and for me, it's like once that book is out, then it now becomes a platform that I could use to help circumstance like this.
Yeah, and youth like him all over the world will be
So,
fully endorsed by this book. You're
which
saying.
is what it's called
From
the Airport
parents,
Adventure, which
children.
means we're planning to go to different airports around the world.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
Exactly.
So,
Stupendous. You know what I mean? Like that's definitely why Cleous, it's a pleasure to have you here. You know what I mean?
thank you.
Long time friends. You know, we like we said we embarked on a business venture together, which is what initially brought made us cross paths. You have a young prodigy here, and like I said, whenever you
So,
decide to go to the next level with him, you know what I mean?
so don't say anything else. So, as a rapper, he's doing the lyrics, right?
Hmm.
But he needs a hook.
Right. For the airport adventure.
Yeah.
Say no more.
All
I
right.
said,
Say no
here
more.
comes,
You see
yes,
that?
this
Say
is
no
where
more.
Fico comes in.
Say no more. Say no more.
So
All
now,
right.
I don't know if you know El Fico,
I'm all right.
but
I'm all right.
so he can
Man,
take what you're
this is
doing
your day, man.
and help it to go on another level. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna make that connection where you can help you to do the chorus of the song.
All right.
All
Well,
right,
my little homeboy over here,
Mr. Hanif,
Shani,
the
yeah,
15-year-old prodigy.
you have to have your own site too. I remember that. Where can the young girls, young guys find you?
So all of that is gonna
Uh,
come.
it's gonna come along down the way, but
Right.
y'all can follow me on Instagram at ys no Sosa.ysc, and yeah,
Yeah, that's where they're gonna find your number
yeah,
for your
Yeah.
Sosa on YSC.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so, and we're gonna build. I'm gonna be building a new platform with him. Everything, helping to brand him and stuff like that.
Not a problem. Not a
Yeah.
problem. Like we said, we can't wait to see what's coming forth. Mikasa Sukasa. Anybody who actually comes to the platform is gets their honorary settings badge. So now your name is Cleous Young Settings,
What you
Yes.
just said?
and
What you just said? Mikasa.
I guess that's what I mean. I'm doing whatever.
Hold on. Look on my phone.
Wow! Wow!
Oh, really?
Wow!
Yes,
Wow!
yeah. That's
Wow!
crazy.
That's crazy!
That's
Wow!
my saying.
Wow! Wow!
And
Wow!
for
Wow!
me, I look at it even dealing with this book.
Mhm.
Right.
If the book doesn't fit me, I can't give it to you.
Right! Right!
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Mikasa Sukasa.
Right! Right! Yeah, man. Well, like I
So,
said, so Cleo is Young Settings, Hanif Settings. Welcome to the family.
Welcome to the
thank
family
you.
of overall
Thank you.
Yeah,
settings.
man. For real, man. You know, so you don't know, ladies and gentlemen. You know how to reach them. Father Cleo is Young. The name is spelled correctly at the bottom of the screen. Facebook, Instagram, and then you have Young Hanif,
ysc.sosa.
YSC.Sosa. Yeah. All right. There you have it. Overall settings. Courtney Melody up next on the other side. The iconic reggae dancehall singer. Cleo, thank you very much for coming out. Hanif, it was a pleasure to meet you. Cannot wait to hear what in the future from you guys.
The whole world talking about overall settings. You're flying high now, sound boy, with a jump and sound. Overall a killer sound. Overall a murder a sound boy. Overall a killer jump and it won't be long.
Overall settings, the podcast that differs.